Kelly didn't just lose fame, he crashed headfirst into a prison system that, according to his attorneys, seems determined to slowly destroy him from the inside out.
There are people who seek to kill Mr. Kelly.
Word on the cell block is that Kelly got jumped again behind bars, and judging by how this one played out, someone on the inside clearly wants him erased for good.
So they say that Kelly woke up allegedly on June 13th and he felt faint, he was dizzy, he started to see black spots, he got up and he fell.
Let's break this whole twisted story down. The so-called hit order has been exposed. It all starts with a man whose time was already running out faster than a cheap clock in a pawn shop, Michael Glenn Stein. A terminally ill cancer patient and longtime shot caller for the Aryan Brotherhood, he'd been locked up since 1982, building a rep as one of the most feared inmates in the federal system. Stein had been doing life for murder and was known for his violent streak, even threatening to assault and kill federal officials back in 2015.
According to documents that R. Kelly's legal team just filed, they are alleging that there is a man, last name Stein, who is a gang leader, a big gang leader, and that he has provided a sworn statement to them that prison officials offered him his freedom to spend his last days free if he would allegedly kill R.
Fast forward to February 2023, while still confined at a Colorado supermax, Stein claims something truly out of pocket went down. In a sworn statement dated May 19, 2025, he said a Bureau of Prisons official named Ray Childress approached him. Childress had allegedly been using Stein for years to arrange assaults and murders inside federal facilities. It wasn't their first deal. Stein claimed that over 13 years in different prisons, he'd been doing dirty work for the BOP in exchange for perks like skipped cell searches and extra privileges. But this February meeting was different. Childress showed up unannounced with Warden Gutierrez and Associate Warden Stangl, no guards, no witnesses, which screamed that something heavy was in motion.
Well, there was an inmate that came forward before, and that stated that he was hired to kill R. Kelly. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah. I never believed that stuff.
This time, the proposal was lethal. Knowing Stein was terminal and had nothing to lose, Childress supposedly made him an offer from the depths of hell. He'd be transferred to FCI Butner in North Carolina, where R. Kelly was serving time, and his assignment would be simple: eliminate the disgraced R&B star. In exchange, Stein would take the fall but never face conviction, since the evidence would conveniently disappear thanks to lost paperwork.
Now, the way that this man says that this was supposed to go down is that he was supposed to kill R. Kelly, allegedly, and then he would get charged for it, and then he alleges that prison officials were going to fumble the evidence and ultimately bury the case. They would then allegedly transfer him to another location where he would be allowed to escape and stay free.
It's just him. It's a few people that when they got these long cases, suddenly they all got plots to murder them and they all want to get out fast.
According to Stein's own statement, the motive behind this hit wasn't just racial or gang-based. Childress called Kelly a predator who'd hurt young white girls, someone the Aryan Brotherhood would naturally target, but the real reason ran deeper. Childress claimed Kelly's lawyers were preparing to leak explosive evidence that could expose corruption within the Bureau of Prisons and even implicate senior Department of Justice officials. In short, Kelly had become a threat to powerful people, and those people wanted him silenced.
So R. Kelly's team is saying that all this is happening because they've been investigating whether R. Kelly's rights were violated throughout the process of his trials, and that they're alleging they recovered some information that they were, and that this information was going to come out. So this is a response alleged.
This revelation supposedly tied to crimes committed during Kelly's investigations, things like illegal wiretapping between him and his lawyers, and outright obstruction of justice. Kelly's legal team claims those secret recordings were handed over to prosecutors to twist arms and pressure witnesses, including his ex-girlfriend Osrielle Clary, into testifying against him, evidence that ultimately sealed his convictions.
These two witnesses, according to these documents, and according to R. Kelly's legal team, were flipped on R. Kelly based on this in-house informant. This in-house informant by the government allegedly went to Adrielle Clary, went to LaShonda, showed Adrielle Clary some communications that R. Kelly, emails, phone calls with another woman outside of Adrielle, because y'all know she was dating R. Kelly. Yeah. And they allege that because of the communications that were shown, he then influenced her to be the government's key witness.
It's just him. It's a few people that when they got these long cases, suddenly they all got plots to murder them and they all want to get out forever.
Stein, who openly admits to a violent past, was initially all in on the plan. The transfer went down fast. Within 2 weeks, he was moved from Arizona to FCI Butner on October 17, 2023. He first landed in the medical unit and stayed there until March 2025, when he was finally placed in Kelly's block. The moment he arrived, a suit reminded him exactly why he was there: handle what you came for. For weeks, Stein shadowed Kelly, tracking his every step and plotting how to pull it off. The setup couldn't have been better. Living on the same block meant full access, Kelly's schedule, his weak spots, and all the perfect chances to strike. But over time, something started shifting inside this hardened killer. Facing death, haunted by his past, Stein says he felt something new, what he called a change of heart. He decided killing Kelly just to cover up the Bureau's wrongdoing was a line he couldn't cross. So instead of carrying out the hit on April 11, 2025, Stein flipped the script. He approached Kelly face to face and laid it all out. "I told him the truth," Stein said, "that I'd been sent to kill him, who ordered it, how it was supposed to happen, and that his life was in real danger." For Kelly, realizing the man tailing him for weeks was meant to end him must have been terrifying. But Stein's betrayal of the plan created a new crisis for the people behind it. Now both the target and the hitman knew. Stein claimed time was running out and offered to take a polygraph, testify in court, and identify witnesses to prove his history of BOP-directed violence.
Says he will take a lie detector test, and he will testify if he has.
He framed his decision as redemption, choosing to expose decades of BOP corruption instead of committing another murder. Lieutenant Teague allegedly kept reaching out, trying to push Stein into finishing the hit, but the dying inmate wouldn't fold. That resistance put both men in deeper danger. Things escalated on June 6, 2025, when Kelly's legal team learned another Aryan Brotherhood member at FCI Butner had been recruited by Lieutenant Teague to eliminate both Kelly and Stein. The new recruit, David Keith Harris, was expected to carry out the job without hesitation. In his statement, Harris claimed Teague even detailed the method: poison slipped into meals at the chow hall or into commissary items, a clean way to make both deaths look natural. The poison plan was designed to blend in with Kelly's existing health problems, things like his blood clots, or be dismissed as an accidental overdose. Including commissary food in the mix made the setup even colder, ensuring that Kelly couldn't avoid danger simply by skipping chow hall meals. But just like Stein, Harris refused to go through with it. He told Kelly's attorneys everything about the murder-for-hire proposal. Once word spread, supporters online and independent outlets amplified the story, naming Harris and warning of a potential poisoning plot. Expanding the hit to include Stein made the intent crystal clear. This wasn't just about silencing Kelly anymore. It was about cleaning house and erasing anyone who could expose the conspiracy. The timing couldn't have been more critical. The new approach came only days before Kelly's lawyers were set to file an explosive emergency motion for his release. On June 10, 2025, attorney Bob B. Brinley officially submitted that motion in federal court in Chicago, demanding Kelly's immediate transfer to home confinement based on the assassination claims. The motion contained sworn declarations from both Stein and Harris, each offering to testify under oath and submit to polygraph exams to back up their statements. It directly accused 3 senior Bureau of Prisons officials, a warden, an associate warden, and another high-ranking officer, of masterminding the plot, though names weren't made public due to ongoing legal action and privacy concerns. Kelly's team argued that keeping him locked up amounted to cruel and unusual punishment under the 8th Amendment, considering the clear threat to his life. Bureau of Prisons logs confirmed Stein's transfer from Arizona to North Carolina, lending weight to his account, though officials declined comment, citing security reasons. Prosecutors from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago fired back hard, calling the entire story a sensational fabrication. They dismissed Stein as an unreliable career criminal and labeled the allegations fantastical, farcical, and part of a desperate attempt to manipulate the court.
I don't believe that these charges are true. I mean, I don't believe these women are being truthful. I don't.
But the most shocking twist was still ahead. Just 2 days after that motion hit the public record, the alleged plot took a darker, more immediate turn. On June 13, 2025, R. Kelly suddenly found himself fighting for his life. The poisoning attempt, and what followed, looked like something ripped from a medical thriller. That morning began like any other inside his solitary cell at FCI Butner. He'd been placed in isolation 3 days earlier, officially for his own safety, though his lawyers claimed it was retaliation for exposing the murder plot. Then everything went sideways. According to court filings, Kelly woke up dizzy, disoriented, and seeing dark spots. When he tried to stand, he collapsed, dragging himself to his cell door before blacking out entirely. Unable to stabilize him, prison medics called for an ambulance, rushing him to Duke University Hospital in Durham, North Carolina. And what doctors found next would spark even more controversy.
They say that R. Kelly woke up allegedly on June 13th and he felt faint. He was dizzy. He started to see black spots. He got up and he fell. He crawled to the door of the cell and he lost consciousness then. At that point, he was placed on a gurney.
But according to Kelly's defense team, this wasn't some random health scare. It was a calculated hit attempt. They alleged that prison staff intentionally overdosed Kelly by giving him an excessive mix of his prescribed anxiety and sleep meds, triggering his collapse and near-death episode. The fact that it happened just days after the murder plot allegations surfaced, they said, was no coincidence. Attorney Bo Brinley claimed that while Kelly was in solitary, he received his usual doses but was instructed by staff to take an extra set for stability. The following morning, Kelly reportedly woke up in crisis, dizzy, weak, and fading fast, leading to his emergency hospitalization.
Taken by ambulance to a nearby hospital because they tried to take him to the hospital inside of or associated with the facility that he's in, but they...
Once at Duke University Hospital, the situation took a darker turn. Test results allegedly showed dangerously high levels of blood pressure and anxiety medication in his system, along with multiple blood clots in both legs and lungs. Kelly's team claimed the Bureau of Prisons had taken him off his prescribed blood thinners despite his known medical history, causing the life-threatening condition. Pulmonary clots can kill without warning, and doctors reportedly urged a week-long hospital stay and immediate surgery. But instead, according to his attorneys, BOP officials intervened. Armed officers allegedly entered his room, ignored the doctor's recommendations, and removed Kelly from the hospital at gunpoint, taking him straight back to isolation.
Team alleges that it was overheard someone in the ambulance from the hospital say this is going to open a whole new can of worms.
The alleged cruelty behind that decision was staggering. Pulmonary embolisms, clots in the lungs, are among the deadliest emergencies a patient can face, demanding urgent and continuous care. Brinley said the forced removal placed Kelly's life in direct danger, as untreated clots could have killed him at any moment. The defense reacted quickly. On June 16th and 17th, Kelly's team filed an updated motion, formally labeling the overdose as deliberate and part of the broader assassination conspiracy. Brinley stated they gave him a dosage that could have ended his life, linking the event directly to the timeline of the earlier murder plot revelations.
According to R. Kelly's legal team in the first filing, and they reiterated in this one, that whole plot to uncover the fact that there were things that were done wrong when it came to, remember I talked about like the flipping of the witnesses and all these things that they're alleging happened. Basically, they're saying the government and the prison officials have been covering up the fact that they did whatever they needed to do to convict R. Kelly.
The accusations didn't stop at negligence. They went full-blown criminal. Kelly's lawyers insisted that the entire ordeal had been captured on prison surveillance footage. According to them, the video would show Kelly entering solitary, displaying his normal medication to officers, and then receiving the extra pills from staff. Hospital files, they argued, would further confirm the overdose findings and his premature discharge against medical advice. The situation grew desperate. Kelly's legal team made an unprecedented move, appealing directly to then-President Donald Trump. Brinley reportedly requested a presidential pardon, saying Trump was the only person who could save Kelly's life, given how slowly the courts were moving. It was a Hail Mary plea that underscored their belief that standard legal channels were failing, and that their client was the target of a coordinated effort to silence him permanently.
Did ask the Bureau of Prisons about the allegations. They said they do not comment on pending litigation.
The government's reply was predictably dismissive, but its wording and timing spoke volumes. On June 16th, prosecutors led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Jason Julian filed a response that branded Kelly's claims as outrageous conspiracy fiction and deeply unserious. They argued the accusations mocked the suffering of Kelly's victims and insisted the court had no jurisdiction to alter his sentence. Julian's filing emphasized Kelly's record as a serial predator and warned that granting release could set a dangerous precedent for convicted killers and terrorists alike. The court's reaction came just as swiftly. On June 20th, U.S. District Judge Martha M. Paco denied the motion outright, saying she lacked the authority to approve a furlough or home confinement even under extreme circumstances. She also noted that no concrete evidence supported the defense's explosive claims. The denial arrived without a hearing, a clear sign the court didn't find the allegations credible enough to explore further. But the story didn't end there. Whether true or fabricated, the claims exposed unsettling realities about the U.S. prison system and the risks high-profile inmates face, especially those convicted of crimes involving children. The sheer depth of detail, sworn statements, named officials, documented transfers, suggested either a shocking level of institutional corruption or an equally shocking degree of fabrication born from desperation.
You don't believe that stuff?
No,
Okay.
I don't believe anything.
I mean, there's some documentation that,
You don't believe the man, huh? No,
Public reaction, reflected across social media and mainstream outlets, was sharply divided but leaned toward skepticism. Many saw the entire saga as a last-ditch publicity stunt, a sensational attempt by Kelly's team to secure his release through claims that couldn't be easily disproved. Others, however, pointed to the brutal realities of prison life where sex offenders often become targets. To them, the idea of credible threats wasn't far-fetched at all, even if government officials weren't the ones pulling the strings.
just him. It's a few people that when they got these long cases, suddenly they all got plots to murder them and they all want to get out forever.
Dealing with the facts of where we at now. He's in there for a crime against a woman. A lot of times, crimes against kids, crimes against women, they'll you up.
That's a fact.
That's facts.
That is true.
Kelly's family members have maintained his innocence throughout the legal proceedings and continue to do so in light of these prison threats. His uncle, Gregory Preston, spoke to media outlets following one of Kelly's sentencings, expressing unwavering support for his nephew despite the overwhelming evidence presented in court.
Like I said, he's innocent. I mean, they lied. People lied on him. So that's as far as I'm trying to take it. I mean, it's so obvious.
And because of the fact that we have been around some of the people at the same time, where they say that they were afraid or they were being charges that they felt, and no fooding, no eating, that is not true.
Even Kelly's arranged brother, Bruce, who had been beefing with the singer legally, expressed conflicted feelings.
This hurt my soul. I don't believe that these charges are true. I mean, I don't believe these women are being truthful. I don't.
The psychological warfare inside federal prisons is its own form of punishment. For inmates like R. Kelly, every day is a tightrope between fear and survival. Every face, every glance, every guard interaction could mean danger. The crushing isolation of protective custody turns time itself into an enemy. Experts describe it as a slow-motion breakdown, where mental exhaustion replaces physical violence, leaving prisoners hollowed out from within. As of now, R. Kelly remains incarcerated at FCI Butner. Since the explosive events of June 2025, there have been no significant public updates, no new filings, no press statements, no leaks. That silence is haunting. It suggests one of two possibilities. Either the allegations were buried exactly as his attorneys feared, or they truly were the elaborate invention prosecutors claimed them to be. Either way, the story of R. Kelly inside prison remains one of mystery, danger, and unanswered questions.